don't want to oversimplify that today, amen. The Bible gives a whole lot about the problem of fear, amen. We can also say that fear is the result, amen, today, and you need to know this here, of your estrangement, amen, being away from God, amen. You're going to have some fears today if you're away from God. In other words, if your relationship, amen, is not what it needs to be today with God, amen, you're going to have some fears, and rightly so. You need to be fearing, amen, because the devil is coming at you anyway, amen. And if you don't have that relationship with God, and you're not trying to get a relationship with God, and I'm talking about the right relationship. Somebody, well, what is the right relationship? Well, you know what? I've learned this here. If you have God with you all the time, and when trouble comes, you won't have to call on him. He's already there. Amen. You won't have to worry about it. See, a lot of times we have to worry and deal with some problems because God, you left God back somewhere else. Amen. But I come and tell somebody that God is everywhere. And we need to understand it today. But our fear, amen, is because we put God back, amen. We place God someplace that God don't need to be. If God ain't first, amen, you're not using God in the right way if he's not first. If you don't put God first in everything, amen, that you do, amen, and whatever you're trying to do in life, amen, you need to put God first, because then these fears, when they come, amen, you won't have to be losing sleep over it. Amen. Fear, we can say today, is the result of us going around our estrangement away from God, amen. Some of us call ourselves divorce God. We divorce them like we divorce God, amen. We ain't got time for God. I got time. There's so much going on here. I'm scared of me, amen. And I say, man, where do I fit in at? Look like everything that took our place for the rally. When we look around, you know, I mean, there's computers, there's cell phones, there's iPhones, iPods, TV. But where do we fit in? Amen. Where does God fit in? Amen. And the Bible, amen. But fear, when we read our Bible, amen, when we understand our Bible, and I say that fear, the Bible deals with fear, amen. It started in the Garden of Eden, amen. Right here, amen. It started in the Garden of Eden, amen. But fear didn't just give you a day, amen, church. Because some of us think it just happened to have people. I just begin to fear that. But fear came sometime ago. It started when we look at our Bible, amen. It started in the Garden of Eden. Amen. But Adam and Eve, amen, disobeyed God, amen. I'm talking about back in Genesis, amen. When God told them not to eat of the forbidden fruit, amen. In Genesis 3:1, amen. When Adam and Eve allowed the serpent to persuade them, whatever you want to use, trick them, amen, and do otherwise what God had told them, that when God came, watch this here, and there's a reason to fear God today, church. When God came looking for them, and they hid, amen. And notice that they were embarrassed, amen. And some of us ought to be embarrassed today, amen, when God comes looking for us, amen. So when God came looking for them, amen, and they hid, but let me say this here, you can't hide from God. All right. Try hard, you can't hide from God. But when God came looking for them, amen, and they hid, and God found Adam, and he asked him, said, why did you hide? Amen. And Adam told him, I was afraid. Read that, Genesis 3:10 says, I was afraid. This fear will happen anytime, amen, a person try to face life. I say without a proper relationship with God. Adam and Eve messed up their relationship with God. And his fear, he said, I was afraid. Amen. That's fear. Amen. And ain't nothing, I don't blame you for trying to hide, but you can't hide from God. Amen. I tried. That's what I'm telling you. When you're doing wrong, when you're not doing what God wants you to do, amen. And you know that, amen. That's a time to be afraid. Amen. And then we look at Abraham For I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. Somebody needs to know today that God is your shield. Amen. And He is your reward. God will protect you. Amen. But if you put God somewhere, amen, you put God beside Him first, amen, who's going to protect you? Amen. I'm looking for God. I don't know about you today, church, but I'm looking for God to protect me today. Because I have to conquer fear, because I have seen what fear can do to people. Amen. I've seen how fear can break people down, to make them paranoid. Amen. Make them hard to get along with, make them hard to be around. Fear can mess up folks' minds. Fear can confuse people. Amen. Being around somebody that's afraid of everything, afraid of everything, hearing noise, seeing that will scare you to death. God encouraged Abraham. He told him, say, Abraham, fear not, amen. And I want to let somebody know today that if you got Jesus, you don't need to be afraid. God even encouraged you when you look at our Bible, amen, Isaac to overcome fear. In his trial of dealing with the wells of the valley, Isaac that came to the land that his father Abraham, amen, had many years before he came back. He began to dig wells for water, amen. That's the reason to dig wells, amen. And every time, brother, he dug a well, the people would start complaining and saying, that's how it was. You ever did, nobody else wanted to do something. Every time you did it, somebody was saying it was theirs, amen. Some folks just want to claim things all the time, amen. And every time he would go and he would find another well and he would dig it, amen, and here they come again, amen. That's how it is. All right. You know what he said? Well, keep on digging, and that's what I want to tell you today, amen. You keep on digging, you keep on. Don't let folks stop you, amen. When your mind is made up, when God has put something on your mind, don't let people stop you, amen. Somebody will try to put a snag or rope around you, keep going. But finally, he dug a well, amen, there, and nobody claimed it well. And he said, this is the well that God wanted to have. And God said to him in Genesis 26 and 24, he said, I am the God of Abraham. Watch this here. Thy father, fear not, amen. For I am with thee. I will bless thee and multiply thy seed for Abraham's sake. If God promised something, He's going to do it. God also, when we look through the Bible, spoke to Moses in Exodus, around 14, chapter 13, verse. Moses and the Israelites had come out of Egypt, and they had wandered around on a journey that should have only took a few days. But here they find themselves trapped down at the Red Sea. And the people have told Moses that we would have been better off if we got to stay in Egypt. You know, some things that bad have to happen for you to come out of a bad situation. Amen. I say come out of it. Amen. And then later on, we should go back into it. Amen. But when you confuse, amen, when you have done contrary to what the Lord wants us to do sometimes, we may get confused like that. But here they are down, can you see them down at the Red Sea, and Pharaoh's army is closing in on them, and there's the Red Sea in front of them, and there's nowhere to go. And the people begin to fear, say, the end is near, amen. But Moses said unto the people, through here. He says, fear ye not. Amen. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show you today. For the Egyptians, by this here, whom ye have seen today, you shall see them again no more forever. Ain't God powerful? Ain't nothing for you to fear. He didn't say, I'm just going to rescue you today. He said, these you won't see no more. I said, now and again, God has to step in. Amen. And has to let us know here, amen, why he says, the psalmist says here in these words that the Lord is my light. I wonder, is there anybody in the day know that the Lord is their light? You've been facing some dark days. You've been facing some dark times. Things are just dim all around. Seem like nothing is going the way you thought they should go. Seem like everything